Thought I'd do something a little bit different today on the channel. I had an experience today that I really wanted to share with you guys because it really touched a nerve with me. And so if you're here for a trick training video or a relationship building video or one of our fun vlogs, this isn't maybe the episode for you. But this is a great opportunity to speak my mind, and it's on a topic that I think it's really important to me. So on that note, I'm Ken. This is Grand Slam. Welcome back to McCann Dogs. So if you've watched the vlog for any length of time, you may know that I'm a firefighter. I've actually been a firefighter for about 20 years, and for 8 of those years I also worked as a paramedic. Over the course of my career, I've seen some pretty unbelievable things. On a nearly daily basis, I think I respond to a motor vehicle collision or a car accident, and in the most unlikely of circumstances, and it's always involving people that didn't expect to get in a car accident that day. About 6 months ago, Kayla and I were driving home from Florida on the interstate, and we witnessed a dog fall out of the window of a moving vehicle. The vehicle was probably going, I don't know, maybe 100 kilometers an hour, whatever, 55 miles per hour, 60 miles an hour. I'm not sure what the conversion is, but it was maybe 200 meters ahead of us, and we saw the dog fall out of the window. Today, when I was in town, I saw a dog nearly fall out of the window of a vehicle. The car came to a stoplight. There was a dog that was at the intersection, and the dog that was in the vehicle got stimulated and started barking. They barked back and forth at one another. Then the vehicle pulled ahead, and the dog nearly fell out the window. I'm not sure where the disconnect is between understanding that we need to safely restrain our children and the idea that we need to safely restrain our dogs. I don't understand why people don't recognize that. Having had to witness the result of a moment of inattention, someone on their phone, or someone. I mean, there's a pile of reasons why motor vehicle collisions happen, car accidents happen. But I mean, it can happen to anyone. I've seen it firsthand. I see it, on a nearly daily basis when I'm at work, and it's horrifying. When a car accident happens, there's essentially 3 collisions that happen. I know, buddy. There's the vehicles strike one another, or a vehicle strikes an immovable object or an inanimate object. Then the human body, strikes the inside of the vehicle, and then the organs strike the inside of the body. So there's 3, really traumatic things that are happening. People wearing a seatbelt, that have been engineered to restrain someone safely, it lessens that impact. It lessens that second and third impact. That has proven to be a lifesaver. Our vehicles are engineered to be really safe nowadays. They have crumple zones. I've seen a car that has no front end anymore. It's basically essentially like crumpled down to a foot thick. Having come from a 5-foot hood, and the passenger compartment inside the vehicle untouched. The driver of the vehicle able to get out of the vehicle and walk away. If anything that isn't strapped down, anything that isn't adequately restrained inside that vehicle, going through that same stopping force, will turn into a projectile. I've seen vehicles where we pull up on scene and the windows are smashed out, and there are things everywhere. I mean, the roadway is littered with whatever was on the inside of that car. To think for a moment that your dog could be one of those things that's ejected from the vehicle is horrifying to me. In our case, I like the idea of a crate that would hold your dog in place. It minimizes that movement inside the vehicle, and if the crate's properly restrained or secured to the vehicle, there's even less likelihood of them rattling around or going anywhere. But when I think about intrusion into the passenger compartment, so for example, a car that's been T-boned, for example, there's oftentimes the passenger compartment. There's some part of the vehicle is crushed in to where someone would be sitting. Well, and if you're using a crate and your dog is safely restrained in there, inside the crate, there's another layer of protection that's available. There's also, these harnesses that can be used, that can be clipped into your safety restraint system, into your seatbelt system in your car, that if you were to be involved in a car accident, your dog would be safe. They're not going to be flying around the interior of the vehicle, or in an even worse case, be ejected from it. Even if the dog weren't injured, even if it was by some amazing stroke of luck, the dog, you were to have a car accident and your dog is uninjured. I've seen situations where the dog was so terrified from the event that they ran away. Actually, one incident involved a police cruiser. It wasn't in Canada. It was a story that I saw from the U.S. But I mean, it's a terrifying event for a dog who doesn't totally understand what's going on. And then they could put themselves in even greater jeopardy, by running across the road or whatever the situation may be. We go to great lengths to protect our children. Our children can't make those choices for themselves. We go to great lengths to make sure, and nowadays, in an appropriate child seat, to make sure that those seat belts and those safety restraint systems are going to be as efficient and as effective as they can be. Why don't people feel the same way about their dogs? I don't understand it. I know some people might say, oh yeah, but he loves it. He loves driving down the road, and we put the window open just a little bit so he can stick his head out. Well, I know my mom was a veterinary technician, and she would say how bad that was for dogs, because oftentimes the dogs would come into the clinic with eye or ear issues, which is understandable. As a motorcycle rider, I know I couldn't ride my bike without glasses, because the wind blowing into my eyes just drives them out in a hurry, and it'd be really, really tough to deal with. But I just can't think of any reason why it's a good idea to not restrain your dog. And here's the thing, kids might, or dogs might like to have their head out the window, but I remember being a kid, I would have liked to, we live in the country, I would have liked to have been able to drive around in the bed of my dad's pickup truck, and that would have been great. But because that's irresponsible and unreasonable, my parents had us sitting in the cabin of the vehicle, and we were wearing seatbelts, because that's the reasonable thing to do, and because at that time we can't make the appropriate decision, the safest choice, so our parents make that decision for us. As dog owners, we have a responsibility to take care of our dogs, to love our pets, to provide them with food and water and a safe place to be, and to make sure that they're safe. Part of that means making sure they're safe, in transportation. No one ever thinks it's going to happen to them. No one. But I see it every single day. It could happen to you. And you need to do everything you can to make sure that these amazing family members who can't make the choice for themselves are safe in that situation. I don't really know how to affect change here, but it's so important to me that I'd love to know if you guys have any ideas. I'd love to see in the comments, like what can we do? How can we raise awareness for this, or make it so that there's some requirement to safely restrain your dog when they're when they're a passenger in your vehicle. I think it's really important. And having seen a couple near misses and one awful event when we were on the interstate coming home the one time, it's just something needs to happen. These guys are our family members, and I would do anything to keep them safe. It seems almost negligent of me to put them in a situation where they could get hurt. Even though I never think I'll get in a car accident, I wouldn't imagine I ever would, but I know that it could happen. So I'm calling on the community, the community of dog lovers to share this video, share whatever you think you can to raise awareness for this topic, because it's so important, and it can happen to anybody. And I think that this is something that maybe with enough action and enough awareness, maybe we can make a change. Maybe you can be part of saving a dog's life indirectly by raising awareness for this. with that said, that's the end of my rant. All the more reason to do something awesome with your dog today, because they're just so special to us. Anyway, that's it for me. Happy training.